Good morning, everyone. How are you out there? Good morning. Streaming both from Instagram and Facebook, so just gonna wait for you guys to join in. My husband was kind enough today to bring me a latte from a local coffee shop, so I don't have any cool fancy mug for you today, but happy to support local. Love the human being here in Central Phoenix. Great little spot. So happy to support local today, but my little fun mug is not in the picture today. It was a nice surprise. My little oat milk latte here. So just waiting for some people to join. I'm Dr. Trisha Pingel. This is your morning checkup. Good morning to everyone out there. I think I'm a few minutes early today. It seems my time kind of jumps around a little bit, but I really appreciate all of you joining in and all of the comments, and I've been going back and reading everyone's comments. And so I didn't get a lot of things yesterday about what you guys do for fun and stress, so you'll have to go back in and answer that question. So it is Friday, May 8th today. Next week is kind of fun for us. My oldest is turning 12, so we're starting to see preteen behavior and dealing with that in isolation is, joyous. I'm sure many of you can relate, as he knocked over his younger brother's marble mazes all morning, and all I've heard is yelling back and forth coming from the bedroom about who did what and who did where, and then back and forth and back and forth. So anyway, happy to be here with you guys away from all of that disaster for a few minutes. And today we're going to talk about peppermint, a lot about peppermint oil, but also about peppermint as a plant. It is one of my favorite herbs. Not my very favorite. Like I've told you, I love fennel. I think I love fennel more than anything else, and burdock. But peppermint is one that I blend with a lot of different other herbs. And the reason being is because, one, it tastes heavenly. It always makes things taste better. It smells great, and it has a ton of medicinal benefits. It's been used forever, and it's fairly low risk in general as a plant. So it's a good one. So I want to talk today a little bit about peppermint oil, how we use it, the studies that have been done on it. Okay? So good morning. For those of you that just joined, I'm Dr. Trisha Pingel, and this is your morning checkup. Today we're going to talk about peppermint. So peppermint actually grows wild in Europe and North America. And in fact, it's the leading producer of peppermint as a plant is the United States, primarily in Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Wisconsin, and Indiana. Okay, so that's where it grows mostly. Now, many of you may have it in your gardens. It's easy to grow. You can pick it up at Home Depot or Lowe's or a nursery and plant it and grow it. And it smells heavenly, as we all know. Always makes me think of the holidays with that beautiful crisp scent. But I blend it with so many different essential oils in my diffusers, and peppermint tea is something that you'll find me ordering regularly at restaurants after a meal. So why? Why do we need peppermint? So let's talk about it. I love peppermint too. People saying how much they love peppermint. It was a little bit of history on peppermint. It was named, part of the name comes from Greek mythology. So Mintha was a mythical nymph in Greek mythology who morphed into this plant. Okay, and piper, which is the root of paprika, means pepper in Latin, and so that has to do with its flavor, with its aromatic and pungent taste. So when you put metha paprika together, you get the Latin name, or the name of peppermint. Common name is peppermint, but that's where it came from. Kind of cool. And in Germany, peppermint leaf is one of the most economically important individual herbs. In fact, it's used in numerous treatments. Used by itself as a component. Well, it's added to, it's used by itself, and then it's also used in a lot of combinations for gallbladder conditions, digestive gastrointestinal conditions, liver conditions, and is also used a lot in some like calming blends. So it's great. And in German pediatric medicine, they use it a lot in combination with chamomile as an herbal tea to treat gastric upset in kids. So it's used quite a lot in Germany as a pretty standard of care. Now in the US, we use it as well, mostly by itself or in a combination for digestive, common cold, decongestants, over-the-counter drug products. If you think about it, your toothpaste, your mouthwashes, your gums, right, are all flavored with peppermint, right? And now it's using mostly in the US, I would say, as a flavoring, but you do also see it used in teas. You see it in antacids to help calm acid reflux. You'll see it in topical products like for burn creams and like, if you have an irritant on the skin, it can help numb it. Like a numbing cream so that you don't feel that irritation. Against itching in sunburn creams, we use a lot of peppermint. So it has a pretty wide range of conditions. Now, the studies on peppermint are primarily in the digestive arena, okay? And that's where most of these on PubMed, which is kind of where we source all of our medical reviews, surround mostly peppermint's use for gastrointestinal and headaches. But there are a few other studies as well that are kind of interesting that I want to talk about today. So for those of you just joining, we're talking about peppermint today. Hello, good morning. I see some of you over on Facebook saying hello. Hello to you on Instagram joining. Sometimes it's hard to keep up with both feeds. So good to see you all. Welcome. Happy Friday. So, let's talk about peppermint as an oil for a minute, as a diffused oil. Okay, so if you have a little diffuser, I highly recommend you get an oil diffuser if you don't have one. Why? Because it smells good, and you can do there's so many health benefits with diffusing oils into the air, but on top of that, they also smell good. And smell is a sense. So when you smell in certain scents, it gives you certain mood responses, right? So if you smell in something that's really uplifting, you feel uplifted. You have a bad smell, you don't feel so uplifted. So smelling is an important sense, and one that I don't think we use enough, right? But there are in vitro studies that showed that peppermint oil had certain antibacterial, antiviral, and anti-allergenic properties. And along with this crisp scent, it was used to help boost air quality, and I use it for that as well. So I'll combine it with other essential oils, and I'll give you some general recipes here shortly, just to kind of uplift the air, clean the air. It's used a lot in natural cleaning products, if you've noticed, because of some of these properties, right? Can't hurt, right? And there are tons of studies on this. I link on drpingel.com. There are some studies I link to if you want to read more about what bacteria it was effective against, or all of the little details of the study. But they've also found in many of these studies, there were two actually that I cited, that it can actually relieve many bacterial, fungal, and viral infections when inhaled. Okay, so that's a really good thing to know. Very low side effect if you're inhaling it in the air. Now, granted, I'm going to give you a little bit of a disclaimer here. Peppermint oil is strong. I'm losing connection with Instagram. Sorry, guys. Let's see how we hold up there. Peppermint oil is very strong, so you definitely want to dilute it. You definitely want to go slowly. If you put some under your nose, it's going to power you. So you might want to blend it or put it down here first, get used to the smell, or just whiff it underneath your nose, get used to that smell. You put it in a diffuser, usually not too bad because it's obviously spreading through the room. So you can, change how much you put in there based on your preference, whether it's 1 drop, 2 drops, usually I don't do more than about 3 or 4 drops of peppermint, just because it's so you can smell it, So another thing that peppermint oil has been shown to do is boost your mental focus. Yeah. So there was a study where they looked at 40 volunteers that smelled peppermint oil, and they found that it improved their alertness, their focus, and their concentration. Furthermore, in 2008, there was another study on 144 volunteers, and it showed that simply smelling peppermint oil enhanced the accuracy of their memories. Okay, so how can you use this practically? If you're a student, you have kids that are studying for finals, diffuse some peppermint oil. If you have a really big meeting or something you need to be focused for, diffuse some oil or put some peppermint oil, on your wrists or behind your ears, almost like a cologne for the day, just to kind of keep you alert. You can chew on peppermint leaves. They're not going to be as strong as peppermint oil, but you get that impact. Anything that's mint, there's a lot of creams, hand creams, lotions that have peppermint oil in them, or you can make your own. You can do something like some shea butter and some coconut oil, and rub it on your arms with a few drops of peppermint. Anything to kind of uplift your mood and increase your mental focus. Definitely in your kids' rooms and a little diffuser. I have boys, as many of you know, so anything that smells good, excuse me, it's the coffee. No water on my desk today. Anything that smells good is good for boys' rooms because they smell like sweat socks. So, in addition, it's also been shown to relieve headaches. Now, this is pretty cool, and I've used it a lot in headache therapy. I've used it as a topical in headache therapy with great success. I'm not even talking about internal use, although there's some studies on using the herb and tinctures and things like that. But primarily, diffusing peppermint oil or using it topically can help reduce headache severity. There was a study that revealed that applying diluted peppermint oil topically was as effective as Tylenol for relieving headache pain. Okay, worth a shot before you pop that Tylenol to rub some peppermint oil on, get that smell, see if you can get those blood vessels moving. Additionally, it was substantially more effective in relieving headache than the placebo group. If you have sensitive skin, peppermint oil is very strong. You want to dilute it, okay? But a lot of research on headaches, not a bad thing. I've had a lot of people, I've recommended just drinking some peppermint tea regularly throughout the day as well for headaches, for hydration, for calming the GI upset. I will do a different live on headaches at one point, but from a naturopathic perspective, there's a ton of links between the gut and digestive issues and headaches. So peppermint is strongly indicated in digestive concerns. So it would make sense that it may also have impact on headaches if you're trying to treat the cause, right? But in addition, this study says it also treats the symptom by using it topically, which is awesome, right? So win-win. Peppermint has also been shown, in addition to boosting that mental focus that we talked about earlier, it's been shown to boost energy and combat fatigue. Okay, so they did a study. Now this one was medically supervised, okay? So don't go out and do this yourself, but there was a 2013 study on male student athletes, and it showed that peppermint oil, and in this particular study they took it internally. I do not recommend taking peppermint oil internally without direct supervision from a physician, okay? The point of this study is to show you the benefits that peppermint can have, okay? So if this is something you're interested in, I encourage you to talk to your doctor about it or look further into these protocols with people that do them on a regular basis. But it showed that it improved their overall exercise performance, which included their time to exhaustion, work, and their power, which was pretty cool. So use extreme caution. They did not take peppermint oil straight either. It was diluted, and it was diluted in certain concentrations in water. So that's why I say talk to someone who knows what to do. But if you want to try some peppermint tea before a workout, not a bad idea. Using peppermint as a tea is fairly safe unless you have an allergy to peppermint or you have a massive gastrointestinal concern, poor kidney function. If you have any type of seriously chronic disease, you should never use herbs without having guidance at all. Peppermint tea in general, as you know, is pretty widespread. You can go to pretty much any restaurant and after dinner order a peppermint tea. And I always suggest that people do because I think it's a very nice way not only to end the meal, but it works as a carminative, which is what I want to talk about next, which is how it aids digestion. Okay, and this is the primary way I use peppermint oil. Therapeutically. If you have digestive disorders, anything from indigestion to ulcers, irritable bowel disease, irritable bowel syndrome, trouble breaking food down, gas, bloating, peppermint is a great option for you. Peppermint tea is easy to get. It is easy to make. It tastes heavenly. Like I said earlier, it's used in Germany in combination with chamomile to ease digestive complaints. And they do about a 2/3 to 1/3 blend on that, by the way. 2/3 peppermint to 1/3 chamomile. And there was a study, there are a couple studies here on peppermint's effect on digestion. I should have grabbed my water. I'm drinking coffee and my throat's getting all, that's okay. So peppermint oil in studies has been shown to help relieve nausea and vomiting, but it's also been shown to reduce IBS symptoms by up to 40% in a matter of weeks. Okay, there's a couple studies on that. Peppermint with irritable bowel syndrome. Check that out, okay? Furthermore, they did a review of 14 clinical trials that revealed that peppermint oil helped reduce the length, the severity, and the frequency of abdominal pain in over 2,000 children. Now, you hear Piggy snoring? You're right. You snoring, Piggy? She is snoring. Whenever any of you who are just joining me, if you ever hear snoring in the background, it's my bulldog. Yeah, she takes naps during this time. Apparently, I'm really boring today. But anyway, so peppermint is great for kids, and I'm a mom, you know, so growing up with kids and having them have stomach complaints and be upset, it's nice to know that there's something such as peppermint. Even just having them chew on a leaf, or like I used to make coconut ice cream for the kids when they were younger, because they didn't do dairy, and that's another subject for another day. But I used to make coconut ice cream, and I would put mint leaves on it, or you could grind mint into the ice cream. One of their favorite flavors is chocolate chip mint. So it's a nice way to get that in, you know, and give them a little treat after dinner, but that can ease the digestion. So peppermint's a great one. Most kids do not complain. Someone says I'm slacking because I don't have funny mugs. Yeah, but let me tell you, Bill, I was sure happy when my husband went out for his bike ride this morning and came back with an oat milk latte that I didn't have to make myself. So we'll just go with today. It is Friday. I'll bring the mugs back on Monday. But glad to know you're paying attention. Very good. So just to review, benefits of peppermint oil, and I will put a link to the article on here: improves air quality, boosts mental focus, helps relieve headaches, boosts energy, fights fatigue, and aids in digestion. Now, some fun stuff. If you want to put it in a diffuser, the nice thing about peppermint is it blends with everything, okay? I blend it with everything. So I commonly use like lemongrass, peppermint. Sometimes I'll put a little tea tree oil, especially during times like flu seasons and things like that, just to kind of keep the air clean. Peppermint's always added. Always. I like the little addition of it, just makes a huge difference. Now in the holidays, I use it even more frequently because I love kind of like the candy cane idea, you know, using like peppermint with wintergreen and cinnamon. Cinnamon and peppermint work really well together. Cinnamon has a lot of its own benefits. So I guess we need to do a live on cinnamon here soon, huh? Maybe I'll throw that one in next week. You can do it with some orange oil, cinnamon oil, clove oil, nutmeg, you know, and that makes it a little bit more like that warm holiday feeling. But then you could go the opposite direction and do peppermint with lemongrass and bergamot and, you know, all of these more uplifting scents. So it mixes with almost everything. So I encourage you to play around, right? And go out and buy some peppermint tea, and after a meal, have a little cup of peppermint tea. You know, a lot of people have coffee, you know, decaf coffee after meals. I always recommend doing some sort of carminative tea. We talked about fennel earlier this week when we talked about intestinal herbs, and fennel's another one. If you know, any type of calming herb to the digestion after you eat is always of benefit. Peppermint is one of those main ones. So if you have other ways that you've used peppermint, write them below. Yeah, let people know. There are so many different blends. If you have some great diffuser blends to share, throw them at me. You know, I'm always looking for new ideas and new scents. But I will post this article for you. It is at drpingel.com amongst with tons of other articles. Usually adding at this point about 3 new articles a week, including at minimum. Include sometimes 4, including recipes and such. So there's a lot of valuable information there. And I will be lost Instagram. Hang on a second, Facebook. There we go. I will be here Monday through Friday around this time, every single morning, talking about something different. So I want you guys to all have a great weekend. Someone's asking about mint. Yeah, peppermint. Yes, I'm talking about the plant of mint. Mentha paprika. Papita. Anyway, it's Friday. Give me a break. Give me a break on Latin names. Anyway, you guys have a fantastic day. I'm going to go curl up with Piggy and take a little nap. It's one of those days, and she's snoring, and it's making me tired. So I will see you all on Monday. Have a fantastic weekend. Thanks for being here today, guys. Thanks. Bye.